We have a beautiful astrological event unfolding throughout September 2024, where the three outermost planets are creating a harmonious minor grand trine. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at 29 degrees, Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 28 degrees, and Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 27 and 26 degrees. All three of these outermost planets are interacting in a beneficial, harmonious way, and this is quite significant, especially from a higher cosmic perspective. Now, I want to focus on the soul growth opportunities here, where there is something right on time that you are finalizing, completing, and graduating from at a soul level. Yes, this is hallelujah. This could be a relief and wonderful validation around what you've been feeling. Now, we've been going through intense energies with Pluto and Capricorn since 2009. We've had Neptune in Pisces since 2011. And we've had Uranus and Taurus since 2018. Each of these have had their own assignments, own areas of life where big permanent changes occur for each of us and for all of us. And during September and even October 2024, as they meet up in this minor grand trine, something is clicking around an overarching theme and what you're closing out that you're not meant to take forward or begin a new cycle around. There's energy here that is supporting what you have been working through, perhaps the hardships, the challenges, the intensity of spiritual awakenings and ascension. There's a lot here when we talk about these three outermost planets. But as they connect, there's something that is coming together in your consciousness that not only brings relief, but is providing a broader understanding of the endings that you've worked for, that you've worked through. Almost like there's something that could help explain, let's say, any of those dark nights of the soul, or anything you've been working through that's felt like the never-ending karma, or maybe something you've been afraid to face, and now you're realizing that's why I had to move through it. That's why I had to experience that big life change, whatever it might be. And of course, it's individual for each of us. But there's a significant collective shift where we are understanding that it's right on time to have certain endings, closures, releases. And that, yes, that energy can also be powerful in the physical world. With Pluto and Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus, they are both ruling parts of our physical reality. And Neptune and Pisces is our ability to trust the unknown, to let go of what we don't need, to continually surrender and go to our higher selves for guidance, as well as rely on our intuition even more. Now, I feel like this is important for many reasons. But then when I look ahead to the next few years, these three planets are going to interact again, but they're going to be in fire and air signs. Uranus moves into Gemini, Neptune moves into Aries, Pluto moves into Aquarius. And that's where there's going to be a new life force, new frequency that gets ramped up. The energy is calmer in the water and earth signs, although you could argue it's not calm at all. But typically, like when we discuss the water and earth signs, they are feminine, they move slower, and they have a different frequency to them. But as the three outer planets shift into fire and air, there's a frequency acceleration, ramping up of energies, more going on, more busyness. So there's some things that we are phasing out in September and October that are meant to be complete. They're meant to be over. And again, going back to the soul growth themes here, celebrate yourself. Celebrate what you've learned, what you've moved through, how you've expanded into higher states of consciousness. Perhaps look at what you've had to endure where at some point you didn't know when it would end. This is a congratulatory energy is what I'm feeling around it. It feels celebratory. There's a level of self-recognition about how strong you've been, what you've moved through, what you couldn't force. Because the earth and water signs, again, they move at their own pace. It's usually a more methodical, slower moving experience of the energies. And then all that shifts as these three outer planets will move into new signs over the next very short few years. And the energy on our planet is going to change quite radically. It's going to get much faster. There's going to be a lot more happening at an accelerated pace. And of course, it's going to bring in more technologies, more communications. It's going to be really dynamic, head spinning. And there's a definite shift in the overall frequency on the planet. So for what it's worth, enjoy what is right now. Enjoy things that feel like they're taking forever. Enjoy something that is moving at a slower tempo, because there's an energy on the planet that's clearing out. And it's taught us a lot. We've learned a lot from each of these planets transiting through their respective signs. And as they move forward into their next signs, there's things we're never going back to. And so on the one hand, awesome, pop the corks, great. We don't want to go back. And then there's also parts of our reality that we feel are permanently over. The turning of a page, even certain parts of your lifestyle or certain parts of, how you've experienced this reality. We're accelerating ahead, we're moving quickly, and there could be a theme or something coming up for you in September and October that makes it clearer how you've been supported through these energies, what has needed to change in this paradigm, and then a sense of we're never going to pass this way again. It does feel like the end of an era. I mean, all three outer planets moving towards the final degree points of a sign is significant shifts on the planet, but also in our consciousness. So it's quite fascinating. Overall, the energy is meant to be an honoring of how far we've come, and then also a preparation into where we're meant to go next. So if you have planets or points in the late degrees of the earth and water signs, you are working with this more personally, especially if one of the outer planets is conjunct any of those planets or points in your chart. So I would actually give it an orb of only a few degrees. Now Uranus goes back to 23 degrees of Taurus in January, but Pluto is completing time in Capricorn in November 22nd. And then Neptune is only going back to 27 degrees of Pisces. So again, we have this rare window of time. There's significant timeline changes occurring on the planet. There's big turnovers, there's big endings, there's things that are clearing out and phasing out. And from a cosmic level, it's right on time. It's right on time. So if you can relax into that knowingness and trust that everything is right on time and everything is divine, that can help you with not only celebrating yourself, how much you've cleared out, how much you've worked through, what you've closed out, but also prepare you for the new energies and the new adventures that await as the 3 outer planets move into the fast-moving fire and air signs in only a few years. I'm saying a few years because of how Neptune moves into Aries and then back to Pisces. So within a few years, all 3 will be in those masculine signs. So I hope this has helped you understand a bit more of maybe what you're feeling and what you're sensing in yourself and in the collective. And I hope it's also a beautiful recognition of how far you've come in this lifetime with these very big energies on the planet.